we were discussing about the stability of the unsaturated air, right? Stability of the unsaturated air. Today we shall discuss about the stability of the saturated air, right? Stability of the saturated air. Okay. We also discussed in the last class about what will be the acceleration of the air parcel when it is rising up in a unstable atmosphere, right? What will be the acceleration of the air parcel when it is rising in the unstable atmosphere? We also discussed about the Brunt-Väisälä frequency, right? Do you remember that? Yes or no? Everybody is silent. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we also discussed in the last class about the stability criteria in terms of the potential temperature. If you recall, we discussed about the stability criteria in terms of the potential temperature, right? So let me draw it here. This board visible to you. Suppose if I say del theta divided by del z, okay. If it is greater than 0, what does it indicate? What kind of stability will there be? We discussed it last time, right? You remember? We discussed.
Static.
Yeah, tell me, who is that? What will be the stability in this situation? Somebody, yeah, this now.
Sir,
And you said
Krishna.
static what? Stable or unstable or what?
It's a static
Stable,
stable.
right? It will be stable statically, right? Is my photo visible live or profile photo is visible?
It's live, sir.
Okay. Because sometimes when I see the YouTube, I find that only the profile photo is visible. So I don't know what happens suddenly, right? And similarly, if we have a profile like this, del theta by del z is less than 0, then this will be
Unstable.
unstable, right?
Unstable.
Isn't it? This will be unstable profile. Okay. Also, these are related to gamma and gamma d, right? If gamma is greater than gamma d, then the lapse rate of the atmosphere is larger than the dry adiabatic lapse rate. So this will be a case of stable, right? And similarly, if gamma is less than gamma d, right, then it will be unstable, isn't it? So that was the case for the unsaturated air. Air parcel, right? When the air parcel gets saturated, the entire thing changes, right? Because when the parcel becomes saturated, its lapse rate will be according to gamma s. Sorry, it will be according to. So still, I'm not very familiar with this board. Can't see the mouse. Mouse is disappeared. Yeah. So this is gamma S. When the parcel is saturated, then the lapse rate will be according to the gamma S, which is the pseudo adiabatic lapse rate or saturated adiabatic lapse rate. Right? And in that case, the entire stability profile will change. Okay, that's what we had discussed last time. So let's discuss it further. Is this visible clearly? My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I am also visible clearly, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the parcel of air is saturated, its temperature will decrease with height at the saturated adiabatic lapse rate, that is gamma S, right? It follows that if gamma is the actual lapse rate of temperature in the atmosphere, saturated air parcel will be stable, neutral, or unstable with respect to the displacement in the vertical, depending upon whether gamma is less than gamma S or gamma is equal to gamma S or gamma is greater than gamma S. Right? That's what we discussed just now on the whiteboard. Here is the case of conditional stability or convective stability or convective instability. Right? If the actual lapse rate of the atmosphere lies between the saturated adiabatic lapse rate gamma S and the dry adiabatic lapse rate gamma D, a parcel of air that is lifted sufficiently far above its equilibrium level will become warmer than the ambient air. Right? Let's see this diagram. Now in this diagram, which you have seen earlier also, right? We have got height in the vertical and temperature in the horizontal, right? And this is the environmental lapse rate gamma. Okay, this is the dry adiabatic lapse rate gamma D, right? And this is the saturated adiabatic lapse rate, okay, gamma S, right? So now, when a parcel of air starting at the point O, okay, is lifted vertically upwards. So initially, because the parcel is unsaturated, so its lapse rate will follow the gamma D, right? So it will, when it is raised from the level O to level A, then its temperature will be according to the gamma D, and so it will be here, right? Let's say dA. Okay, now at this point, which is the LCL, right? The parcel will get saturated, will become saturated at this level, because LCL is the lifting condensation level where the parcel becomes saturated. However, if the parcel is raised further above this level, let's say it is brought to the level B. Now, at this level, because the parcel is saturated, so it will follow the moist adiabatic lapse rate. So this is the suppose line of moist adiabatic lapse rate, gamma S. So parallel to this line is this one. So its temperature will be this one, right? Now at this point, this is the gamma, which is the environmental lapse rate. So this will become equal to, or the temperature of the parcel will become equal to that of the environment. So this is the LFC, okay, level of free convection. Now from this point onwards, if it is raised further above, then it will go vertically like this one, whereas the environmental air will follow this one. So that means the temperature of the environment will be less than the air parcel above this level. And so above this level, the parcel is unstable, whereas below this level, the parcel is stable, right? See, the parcel is stable below this level, this layer, whereas it is unstable above this layer, right? So it is a case of conditionally unstable, because initially when gamma D is less than gamma, okay, because gamma D is here, bringing it here, gamma is here. So initially when gamma D is less than gamma, it is stable, whereas once it is brought to this point, it became saturated, then it followed the moisture derivative collapse rate, and then here onwards, gamma is less than gamma S. So it became unstable. So in other words, the parcel will be conditionally unstable if the lapse rate of the environment lies between the saturated adiabatic lapse rate and the dry adiabatic lapse rate. Okay, gamma lies between gamma S and gamma D. Okay, so if this is the situation, then the atmosphere will be conditionally unstable. Conditionally unstable because it is stable in the beginning, right, and unstable afterwards. Its lapse rate change. Once it becomes saturated, its lapse rate change. So it is conditionally unstable, right? And this conditionally unstable instability will be released only when the parcel is lifted by some mechanism from this level, from this level to this level. And that is generally, I had explained to you earlier, either through the mechanical lifting along the topography or along the as per the convection, right? So this situation is illustrated in the figure where an air parcel lifted from its equilibrium level O cools dry adiabatically until it reaches its lifting condenser level A. Now at this level, the air parcel is colder than the ambient air because this is the ambient air temperature and this is the parcel temperature. So this is colder than the ambient air temperature. Okay. Further lifting produces cooling. It is lifted further upward. It produces cooling at the moist adiabatic lapse rate, right? So this temperature of the air parcel follows the moist rate, okay, which will be parallel to this gamma S, right? So it will go up like this vertically, okay. So same diagram is repeated. So if the air parcel is sufficiently moist, the moist adiabatic through A, this one, will cross the ambient temperature surrounding. Okay, surrounding. Okay, here. So the point of intersection shown in B is this one, is the LFC. Up to this point, the parcel was colder and denser than this ambient air, and an expenditure of energy was required to lift it. The expenditure of energy, that means energy was required externally, right? Either mechanical lifting or lifting because of the convection. If forced lifting had stopped prior to this point, the parcel would have returned to its equilibrium point A. You see the point? If there was no forced lifting, then because at this point it is stable, it is colder than the surrounding air, so it would have come back to this level, original level, right? It would have come back or returned to this original level. Okay. However, once above the point B, above this point, the parcel develops positive buoyancy because it will be warmer. That carries it upward even in the absence of further force lifting. Okay. So for this reason, B is referred to as the level of free convection. The level of free convection depends on the amount of moisture in the rising parcel of air as well as the magnitude of the lapse rate gamma. Okay. Thus, for a layer in which gamma is between gamma S and gamma D, or gamma S is less than gamma D, vigorous convective overturning will occur if forced vertical motions are large enough to lift the air parcel beyond their level of free convection, above this level of free convection. Such an atmosphere is said to be conditionally unstable, right, with respect to convection. Conditionally unstable with respect to convection. Okay. So the potential for instability of air parcel is also related to the vertical stratification of the water vapor, right? The potential for instability, right? Because how much atmosphere will be unstable will depend upon how much water vapor is there in the environment, in the air. Okay, that depends upon that. And as you know, the vertical stratification of the atmosphere depends upon the distribution, vertical distribution of temperature as well as the moisture, which is related to the dew point temperature, or dew point temperature is related to the moisture, right? That we have discussed earlier. Because larger the moisture in the air, the dew point also will be larger, right? Because dew point is the temperature where the air becomes saturated. And again, saturation is a function of temperature, right? So all these things are interrelated, right? So the instability of the atmosphere, the instability present or hidden in the atmosphere depends on the vertical distribution of the temperature and moisture in the air. Okay. Now let's see a case when there is an inversion. Suppose there is an inversion here in the atmosphere. Okay. This is the height, this is the temperature. Okay. This is the profile of temperature, and this is the dew point temperature. Okay. In the vertical. Variation of dew point temperature, variation of temperature in the vertical. As you can see, temperature increases in this layer. So this is an inversion. So there is an inversion in this layer, AB. Okay. And when there is an inversion, we have discussed it earlier, that means it is an indication of a stable stratification. That means it is a stable, atmosphere is stable, right? Like in the winter mornings when there is a fog, it is a stable stratification. But as the day progresses, the solar heating of the ground also increases, and convection will develop, and this layer of air will get lifted. This inversion layer will get lifted upward. Okay. So what will happen when this layer of air is lifted upward? Then suppose a parcel of air at this level A, suppose if it reaches here, okay. If it reaches here, then this will get, its temperature will become equal to TD. So the parcel will get saturated, and once the parcel gets saturated, its temperature will reduce at the rate of moisture adiabatic lapse rate, right? So the parcel will become unstable when this layer is lifted and the parcel is located here. Whereas a parcel of air which is located here will also get lifted forward, upward. So that parcel which is located at this air, this level, will remain stable because its temperature, it is not yet saturated, and its temperature will not reduce at the rate of moisture adiabatic lapse rate, and so it will remain stable, right? So in words, if you write, okay, I will just explain to you, this blue shaded region is a dry inversion layer. Okay. So now in words, in the profile shown in this figure, the dew point decreases rapidly with height within the inversion layer AB. Okay, this is rapidly decreasing the dew point. This is the dew point temperature. It is rapidly decreasing in this inversion layer. Okay, that marks the top of a moist layer. Okay, above this the air is moist. Now suppose that this layer is lifted, and air parcel at point A will reach the LCL quickly. Beyond that point, it will cool moist adiabatically. Okay. In contrast, an air parcel starting at point B, okay, will cool dry adiabatically through a deep layer before it reaches its LCL, because it will remain unsaturated over a deep layer, right? Therefore, as the inversion layer is lifted, the top part of it cools much more rapidly than the bottom part. Okay, the top part will cool more rapidly than the bottom part, and the lapse rate quickly becomes destabilized. because the bottom part, once it is lifted, then it will become saturated and it will follow the moisture adiabatic lapse rate, and so it will cool slower than the upper part. The lower part of the air, lower part of this air layer will cool slowly than compared to the upper part. So it will become destabilized. It will get destabilized. Okay. Sufficient lifting may cause the layer to become conditionally unstable, even if the entire sounding is absolutely stable to begin with. Initially, even if there was an inversion, right, which is a stable stratification, even if it was stable initially, if this is lifted upward, then the parcel of layer of air at this level, at this height, will become unstable as it comes to this altitude, this height, and it will become unstable. Whereas this level, the parcel of air which is lying at this level will remain stable, right? So it may be shown that the criteria for this so-called convective or potential instability is that the del theta E by del Z. Okay, but theta E क्या है? What is theta E? What is theta E? What is theta?
Potential temperature.
Yeah, theta is potential temperature, right? And theta E? Theta E क्या है?
The pressure.
No, theta is equivalent potential temperature. We have discussed this earlier. Do you remember? We had discussed in previous classes. What is equivalent potential temperature? Can anybody explain? This is the potential temperature. Okay. And this is the equivalent potential temperature. Somebody is trying to call me. Sorry, am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was trying to explain the equivalent potential temperature and potential temperature, right? So, can anybody remember what is equivalent potential temperature? Yes, please. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, there is a lot of interruption because of the telephone. So, yeah, equivalent potential temperature. So, who can explain what is equivalent potential temperature? We had discussed it last
Sir,
time.
yes, sir. It is the temperature. It is the temperature of a parcel of air. If all
Yes,
the if all the water vapor of the parcel
yes,
condenses and releases its latent heat, and
yes,
that parcel is brought adiabatically to it is adiabatically compressed or
yes.
200 hectopascal. And
Yeah, 1000 hectopascal.
1000 hectopascal or 1 atmosphere.
Right, right, correct. Yeah, that is the equivalent potential temperature, right? When the air
Yes,
particle cools so that all its water vapor is condensed and the latent heat is released, and that is used for heating the air parcel, and then subsequently the parcel of air is brought down adiabatically or compressed down to the standard pressure level of 1000 millibar. So the temperature which it will attain in that case is the equivalent potential temperature, right? That's what we had discussed it last time. Okay, and so we had just now discussed, a bit earlier that if del theta by del z, or similarly we can say del theta e divided by del z, okay, is less than zero, then it will be a unstable case, right? It will be an unstable case. Okay, and I had discussed it earlier. If you are plotting a profile of potential temperature, let us say this is T and this is theta, this is Z, vertical profile. Generally, the T is supposed to decrease with height, isn't it? T is supposed to decrease with height, right? But the theta will increase with height. This will be theta. On the other hand, the profile of theta E, okay, theta E also actually, let's say this is dash dotted line. So this theta E also decreases with height. Okay. You plot the temperature profiles, potential temperature will increase with height. Temperature normally decreases with height. Theta E also decreases with height. That is the normal situation. Okay. So we had discussed it earlier that when theta E by theta Z is less than zero, then it is a case of unstable situation, right? So here, now is this slide visible to you? Screen visible to you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it may be shown that the criteria for this so-called convective or potential instability is that del theta E by del Z, okay, be negative. That is, theta E decreases with increasing height within that layer. Lot of interruption today. So I'm sorry about the interruption today. Okay. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah. So what I was saying is when del theta E by del Z becomes negative or theta E is decreasing with increasing height within the layer, then this will be potentially unstable or it will be a condition of potential instability. Okay. Throughout the large area of the tropics, theta E decreases markedly with height from the mixed layer to the much drier area above. Yet, deep convection breaks out only within a few percent of the area where there is sufficiently lifting to release the instability. Right? So, what does it mean? If you plot the temperature profile and the dew point temperature profile in the atmosphere, okay, you will see that in most of the situation, it says that now theta E, del theta E by del Z, when it is less than 0, it is unstable. But actually, theta E decreases with height in most of these cases in the tropics, right? In other words, the tropical atmosphere, the tropical atmosphere is generally conditionally unstable. In other words, why? Because most of the time when you plot the temperature profile and the moisture profile, dew point temperature profile, or you plot the theta E profile, you will see that theta E is decreasing with height. But even if it is conditionally unstable, why convective clouds do not form every time? Why the convective cloud do not form every time? Right? Even if it is conditionally unstable, why the convective clouds do not form everywhere or every time? And that is because even if the atmosphere is conditionally unstable, right, it requires some lifting mechanism, as we have discussed earlier. It requires some lifting mechanism to lift the air parcel above the level of free convection or till the level of free convection. Right? So that external energy or external forcing, unless it is available, the convective clouds will not form. Right? The convective clouds will not form, even though the tropical atmosphere is mostly convectively unstable. So that's what it says. Okay, that's what the last statement said, that throughout the large area of tropics, theta E decreases markedly with height from the mixed layer to the much drier air above. Right? You know what is mixed layer? Mixed layer. Have we discussed this earlier? Mixed layer. Yes or no? Everybody is silent. Mixed layer.
Sir, the layer in which both moist and dry airs are present.
No, in the beginning, when we are discussing about the atmospheric vertical layers in the atmosphere, like this, suppose the ground, okay. Then you have got the boundary layer, so-called boundary layer, right? PBL, planetary boundary layer, okay. And you have got the troposphere, right? Tropopause. And then you have got the stratosphere, stratopause. Okay. So the lowest layer in the atmosphere, which is close to the ground or in contact with the ground, is called the PBL, or planetary boundary layer. We have discussed this earlier, no? Yes or no? The
Yes,
depth
sir.
of the
PBL we discussed.
yeah, discussed. We have discussed it earlier. What is the typical depth of the PBL? What is the typical
1
depth?
kilometer.
Yeah, 1 kilometer exactly. Typically, it is 1 kilometer. Now, in this layer, PBL, we have got a strong heating of the ground, right? Strong convection develops, right? And because of the strong convection, the layer of the air in contact with the ground, or the parcel of air, right, quickly mixes with the layer above, with the surrounding air, because of the strong instability, right? Because of the strong instability in this layer, because the temperature profile, if you plot, the PBL has its own characteristics when compared to the free atmosphere. These are the free air. This is the free atmosphere. So the characteristics of the temperature, humidity, dew point temperature, etc. in the PBL is completely different from that of the free atmosphere. I mean, the way it behaves or changes, it follows certain specific rules. And you might have studied, I don't know, have you studied about the Ekman layer or Ekman spiral? Have you studied? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No, not yet. Okay, maybe you will study later. Right? The vertical profiles of temperature and moisture, right? Or the wind, even the wind also. It follows certain rule in the lowest layer. Not only actually PBL is much larger than the Ekman layer. Ekman layer is much thinner. It may be about a few meters, maybe about 10 to 100 meters. Above the, also called the surface layer. Generally, the Ekman spiral is more clear in the ocean. In the ocean, the Ekman spiral is more clear. Actually, in a Ekman spiral, the current or the wind speed or the ocean current changes its direction within that layer. We shall study later on, maybe in the dynamic meteorology or some other course, you will study about these things, Ekman layers. Right? So, this layer, suppose you extend this surface. Is also called the mixed layer. This is also called the mixed layer because of the strong presence of turbulence. There are lots of turbulence also in this layer because it's very close to the ground. There are vegetations, right? There are trees. There are mountains, right? So many things are there close to the ground, right? So because of these things, there are a lot of turbulence in this layer. Right? You know turbulence? Have you heard of turbulence? Yes or no? Turbulence. You know what is turbulence? Everybody is silent.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, exactly. Turbulence, right? I mean, it's random flow, right? Very random flow, not a streamlined flow, not a regular flow, like a laminar flow. We call laminar flow in the fluid dynamics. Laminar flow. or streamline. Streamline, right? Generally, in the hydrodynamics, in the fluid dynamics, now people study these things. So, in the mixed layer, in this layer, the flow is generally turbulent flow because of the presence of the tree, right? Mountains, also buildings, right? The buildings also. Because of all these things, the air in this layer is mixed. So it quickly mixes. That means the properties in this layer, in the mixed layer, is quickly mixed or throughout mixed, so it becomes uniform. Except in the very close layer to the ground, the property is generally mixed. So if you plot the temperature, okay, if you plot the temperature profile in a mixed layer, except, I mean, I had discussed it earlier that in the very thin layer close to the ground, temperature is super adiabatic, lapse rate is super adiabatic, right? Because the air, in contact with the ground is strongly heated. As you go up, the temperature will rapidly decrease. Okay, but after that, because of the mixing present in this layer, mixed layer, the temperature becomes almost like uniform, isothermal. So mixed layer is generally having isothermal layer, constant temperature, right? Mixed layer. This is a PBL. So this is the characteristics of the mixed layer, right? So it says that throughout the large area of tropics, theta E decreases markedly with height from the mixed layer to much drier air above. Yet deep convection breaks out only within a few percent of the area where there is sufficient lifting to release the instability. Unless there is a sufficient energy, external energy, the energy, the cape which is hidden, or latent energy which is hidden in the atmosphere, is not released, right? That's what it implies. So that is about the conditional instability. Okay, instability when there is a universal layer in the atmosphere, right? All those things we have discussed today. Okay. This is illustrated here in this diagram. Okay, this diagram or this kind of diagram we have discussed it earlier many times. Okay, what it says is that this is a typical case of a conditionally unstable situation. This is a conditionally unstable situation. Okay, now here you have got the temperature profile indicated by this line. This is the temperature profile. Okay, so this is the, let us say, surface. This is 1000 millibar. 1000 millibar. So an air parcel which is at the surface is dry. Okay, and let's say this is the dew point temperature of the parcel. Too much different. Dew point temperature is very less than the air temperature. So air parcel is very, very dry. So once it is lifted because of mechanical lifting or convection, it will lose the temperature at the dry adiabatic lapse rate. They are the dry adiabatic theta lines, equal theta lines, or also called the isentropic lines. We have discussed earlier. So it will lose the temperature at dry adiabatic lapse rate. Whereas this is the dew point temperature, so its mixing ratio will follow the lines of constant mixing ratio, which are these dashed lines here. Dashed line. So this will meet here. This line and this line will meet here, and there the condensation will occur. This is the LCL. From there onwards, it still requires some push, some external energy to go further up. Right? And if that is present, then Once it reaches here, then this becomes again equal. The two temperatures become equal, and because the parcel has become saturated, no, at this level, this is LCL, so it will follow the saturated adiabatic lapse rate or moist adiabatic lapse rate, right? So this is the LFC, level of free convection. This is the LCL, okay, and this layer is stable. This layer is unstable, okay, and above this, once it is again meets this line, crosses this line, this moist adiabate, then this is the equilibrium level or the top of the cloud. So this is shown here in this illustration. Initially, the cloud parcel will go up, but it requires some kind of external energy to reach this level. Once it has reached here, then it will automatically go further or rise further upward, right, and become a deep cloud, deep convective cloud, right. So this is the case of conditionally unstable atmosphere, right, conditionally unstable situation, right, because initially it was stable when the lapse rate of the parcel of air, which was dry, was following the dry. That means gamma D was greater than the gamma, because this is the gamma lapse rate of the environment, right? And then once it reached here, then the two become equal, and after that, the lapse rate of the environment gamma is more than the gamma S, right? So it became unstable from here onwards. This is the case of conditionally unstable situation. Okay. So we have completed with this this is further some more diagrams are there to explain to you. So this illustration shows that how a typical profile looks like in conditionally unstable situation. And we discussed just now that when gamma is between gamma S and gamma D, it is a conditionally unstable atmosphere. This diagram also we had discussed earlier. So in this figure, it is shown that now this is the altitude and this is the temperature. Okay. Now initially this is the profile. This is the profile of the air, and this is the profile of the air parcel. Okay. This orange line is the temperature profile of the air parcel, and this green line, hopefully it is green, is the temperature profile of the air. So initially, from here to here, right? In order for this parcel to become conditionally unstable, it has to reach from here to there, or rather from here to here. So this is the LFC in this case, right? So it will initially decrease the temperature at the dry adiabatic lapse rate, become saturated here, then follow the moist adiabatic lapse rate, and it will cross the temperature line here. So this is CFC, LFC, and then from there onwards it is unstable. Okay. So this layer or the energy required in this for this parcel to rise in this layer is either provided by the presence of some topography, hill or mountain, or the frontal systems. Have you studied about the fronts in any subject so far? Frontal systems? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No, not yet. Okay. Maybe in one of the subjects you will study about the fronts. Fronts are like fronts or frontal systems. Generally, fronts are the boundary. If you have got suppose a warm air mass, and you have got a cold air mass. Okay. The boundary between warm air and cold air mass, this boundary, sorry, I'm not able to draw it properly. Okay, let me draw it once again. Okay, this boundary is called the front. This is called the front. The boundary between warm air mass and cold air mass is called the front. And this side of this air massage can be very large. It can be thousands of kilometers. It can be thousands of kilometers. Right? So when the warm air mass and cold air mass meet each other, the boundary between the two air mass is the front. And what will happen when these two air masses will meet each other? What will happen? Because this is a warm air mass, it will ride above this cold air mass because it will be it is warmer and so lighter than the cold air mass, right? So as soon as they meet each other, warm air mass will rise or ride on the cold air mass and it will go like this one. So it will get automatically lifted because this is colder, that means heavier and denser. This is warmer, so lighter. Okay, so it will automatically go above this. So it will provide energy by itself. Generally, the fronts are indicated by and there are cold fronts and there are warm fronts. This is the front. There are cold front. There are warm fronts. Also called occluded fronts. That means there are mixed fronts. Part of it is warm and part of it is cold. Cold front, warm front. So these things anyway, I think out of the course here, you will study these things in some other subject. Okay, about this warm air mass, cold air masses for the system. Okay, so what we are discussing is that here. Now this is a front. Okay, this is a front. Is this diagram visible to you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is a front. Okay, this is a front because one side is a warm air mass, other side is a cold air mass. Maybe this is cold air mass, this is warm air mass. Right. So separation, line of separation between the two is called the front. Okay. So as I said, the warm air mass will automatically ride above the cold air mass. So it will provide a automatic lifting. So this is one way of lifting the air mass. Other way was the mountain. For example, if this is a mountain and there is a air mass, okay, air parcel. So it will be forced to rise above the mountain because you cannot cross the mountain just like that. So this is another way. And third way is of course the convection, right? So these are the different lifting mechanisms, right? Different lifting mechanisms for a system to rise above, right? So there can be different ways of lifting, right? Like mechanisms. One could be because of the convection simply, right? Second could be mechanical lifting because of the flow of topography. Okay, mountain. And third could be frontal. There are the different ways that a air parcel can get lifted upward. Okay, can get lifted upward from the ground. All right. So in this situation, okay, because of these things, once it reaches here by some mechanism, some lifting mechanism, then it becomes saturated. Okay, and then after that, it will feel or experience a conditionally unstable situation, unstable atmosphere, and the clouds will automatically grow, right, further above, right? So this is the illustration for conditional instability. Okay. So we have completed the atmospheric instability by now, and in the next class is only, I see, 1:42. So we shall stop the class today. In next class we shall discuss about the second law of thermodynamics. All these things we have discussed till now were all based upon the first law of thermodynamics, right? First law of thermodynamics as applied to the atmosphere. Now we shall see tomorrow or in the next class how the second law of thermodynamics is applied to the atmosphere or applicable to the atmosphere. Okay. So is there any question till now? So I stop sharing the PowerPoint. Any question till now?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
So
sir.
I stop sharing the PowerPoint. Okay. All right. So anybody came late today?
Sir, I came late.
Oh, Sri Lakshmi, you came late. Okay. All right. So I'll mark your attendance. And what about the other girl, Anjali?
Sir, she is absent from the morning class.
Morning class also she was absent. Okay. So all right. So any other question? Any more question for today? If there is no question, then we stop the class and then we shall meet tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.